नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityanandam. Many of you know, and many of you don't know, that here in Bengaluru Adinam, a special program called Nityananda Yogam is happening. Every day, Swamiji is revealing his vision for the civilization that he is building. And every day, these participants are imbibing that in order to take it forward universally. Last night, we had such an amazing experience with Swamiji at around 9:30 p.m., sitting in his courtyard, just 2 feet from him at his feet. We were able to be witness as he revealed the cosmic truths. It began with the punchline from yesterday's satsang, which was, God is not equal to Sadashiva. Swamiji said, he made it very clear, God is not equal to Sadashiva. What is popular belief as God is only 3 action: creation or manifestation, operation, and destruction. In Sanskrit, we have these words Shristi, Sthiti, and Samhara. This is what we say as God, the actions of God. Generation, operation, destruction, G-O-D. That is what we call as God in popular belief. But Sadashiva is beyond all these 3. He does these actions, and he also does 2 very important actions as well. Tirobhava and Anugraha. Delusion, putting people in delusion, and also liberating them. These 5 are what actually make the Sadashiva. They are the actions of Sadashiva. Here you can see each of the 5 in Swamiji's own handwriting as he drew last night. Last night, he himself brought large pieces of paper, and he himself drew out each of these and showed us these 5 are the different actions of Sadashiva. What is so important is that only if you understand that beyond the 3 common belief, Shristi, Sthiti, and Samhara, there is Tirobhava and there is Anugraha. When you understand delusion and liberation, only then will you understand the 11 dimensions of the universe as Hinduism dictates. This again is another visual as Swamiji has drawn of the 11 dimensions of the universe. Again, Swamiji's own handwriting. He individually described each of these to each and every one of us. Every one of us can attest and share that how he described each of these is so detailed. Only Sadashiva himself can be able to describe this so easily to humans. One thing he explained is that when you understand delusion and liberation, you can understand the 11 dimensions of the universe. If you don't even understand, if you just are in the creation, operation, destruction, only that you see as God, you will never be able to see that there is so much more in the universe than just what is in those three. There's so much more. There are these 11 dimensions. And these 11 dimensions are actually what we play with when we are manifesting powers. Each and every one of these Nityananda Yogam participants was very lucky enough to go through this process with Swamiji last night. It was not just one session where he is educating us. It was simply a process. One Nityananda Yogam participant had asked, Swamiji, how can we learn? How can we get all of this? And he simply said, integrity to Swamiji, feeling connection to Swamiji. After this, he went into the 25 states of consciousness. In order to explain the 25 states of consciousness, he drew a 5x5 table. In this, as you can see, another one of Swamiji's works from last night. You can see that this 5x5 table is made up of 5 categories on each side. Shushupti, which is the deep sleep state. Swapna, which is the dream state. Jagrat, which is the waking state. Turiya, which there is no English definition for, but we have called it as the awakened state. There is actually no direct English translation. Any word you put is not enough. So we have called it as awakened, Turiya. And then after that, Turiyatita. Each of these as well, Swamiji has described how we ourselves go experience each of these states. How in each there is an intersection. The Shushupti, you can see. How in each you can see that there's an intersection, and how in each of those areas we experience the universe. Swamiji said last night that only incarnation, Sadashiva himself, incarnation can give you that experience of Turiyatita. The last 2 rows and the last column, last 2 rows at the bottom of the table, last column, these experiences of the universe, these states of consciousness are all experienced, are all given to us by an incarnation, avatar. And that is what Swamiji is here for. And last night, when one of the participants had asked, Swamiji, is it possible for us to go to that very last state that he is in, the Turiyatita plus Turiyatita state, where Turiyatita in the last column and Turiyatita in the last row intersect? Is it possible for us to get there? And Swamiji said, sure, that is my job. So, with that, I would like to pass on the mic and let each of us share the experience that we went through. Because as I said before, just a few minutes before, I said that it was not just an education process for us. As we all know, if we have been through inner awakening, when Swamiji explains something, he is actually using different dimensions on us. He is not just educating us through verbalization. It is an experience that we go through. And if we have that feeling connection, then we experience it better and we're able to know it even more powerfully. So I'll now pass on the mic to participants of the Nityananda Yogam program, these select few who have been called from wherever they were in the world to come and experience Swamiji in such a close setting, just to receive these truths and just to give them to the world. Just to receive his vision and just to give it to the world. Let's hear what they have to say about their own experience.
Nityanandam Swamiji. Nityanandam. I feel most blessed for being here for this program, and especially after last night, it is too much. All through the session, it's like there is a honey, we are like a cotton ball, we have been soaked in that honey. And it's like it's been going on all night during whatever, it's like when I was sleeping, Swamiji was still talking, still explaining, still I was in that state. The state continued even after I woke up, when I came to yoga and when I came to puja. Even now it is still going on. The class is so, the session which happened has had so much impact on the being. It is just there. It has gotten there and it is going on and on. So many clicks happened yesterday. One of the clicks happened was the significance of what enters into what, when Swamiji explained in that 5x5 chart, what enters into what, how it is important and all that. So when he explained what is initiation, like Turiya entering into Jagrat state is initiation, and when we do our effort, like we do meditation, we do yoga authentically, and when we are doing the Gummi dance and we feel some sort of experience, we making an effort and experiencing that is Jagrat entering into Turiya. He explained what enters into what is where you are anchored. Like if Turiya is entering into Jagrat, it is anchored in Turiya and it will go back to that. When Jagrat is entered into the Turiya, like when we do Gummi dance and we feel something, we are anchored in the Jagrat state and we are going to the Turiya state. It's like you will come back to that state. How when you go to a temple, you may not have the same experience again. He explained all that. It's going on and on for me, and I don't even have to make an effort to be there. It is I am there. It is going on like that. Thank you.
Pranam Swamiji, Nityanandam, everyone. It was such an experiential thing. It's like I'm groping in the dark to find words to say what happened. I felt like every time he explained this state or this state, it was like he was taking us through it. So we were actually going through Jagrat Sushupti, or we were going through Swapna Jagrat. So that the entire experience was about living through it. That was something, and it was just, when I look at it, there was chemistry, physics. Swamiji was saying, chemistry, physics, cosmology, all these things. He just distilled it up to the highest possible explanation. And, we felt really, really blessed to be there. And Swamiji would say, do you understand? And we'd all say, yes, Swamiji. But it was we were not even beginning to, of course, get like 0.1 to 0.1% of that. So it was just an amazing experiential experience. I feel really blessed to be part of it. It just goes back to, in Singapore, which is where I come from, we have something called the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple. And they have one tooth of one of the Buddhas at the center of the temple. And they've built a huge temple around it, and it's a big tourist spot. Everyone who comes to Singapore goes there. And I just think of Swamiji, our avatar sitting right here, and I know every hair of his that falls on the ground, and we will have a huge temple like that. And I feel so inspired to take all this out to the world. Thank you, Swamiji.
Nityanandam, what happened yesterday night was, we cannot really put it into words, even if we want to put it into words. It was just magical, completely magical. The experience was just so strong and so amazing that even if we want to put it in words, we really cannot put it in words in the way that we want to express. Swamiji explained the 11 dimensions. It was just like, and he was explaining it to us so casually. He was like giving the whole cosmic mind map to us. And he was handing it down so casually that the listening and the assimilating was happening all at the same time, in a way that only an avatar could do it to us. He actually made sure that he expanded us, and he inserted the information in us, and he made sure that we are assimilating and understanding it at the same time. And that is why the experience became really so strong about the whole, the things that he was explaining. The 25 states of consciousness that he explained yesterday were, it is like we were actually going through each of those state of consciousness. Any emotion that we go through in our waking state, sleeping state, deep sleep state, can be mapped on that chart. So the final state in that is the Turyatita, as Mashantini explained, the Turyatita in the column and Turyatita in the horizontal row also. When I asked Swamiji if we will ever experience that, he just casually said that, of course, that is my job. That is what I've come here for. And that was like the epitome of the experience for me, because not the climax with Swamiji, of course, it was the epitome. And it just put us into a state where we were able to connect with Swamiji at a very different level. It was really, truly magical, and I want to thank Swamiji for this complete experience.
Nityanandam, I'm Ravi Kiran. Swamiji is saying, explain what you caught yesterday. It's like he's asking us to answer and waiting with a mark 0. Is it possible for us to explain what we are sitting there and explain? Because even when we sit for a morning satsang, even the one topic what Swamiji explains, we have to watch it again and again, so many times to understand something and to imbibe something. But yesterday what was happening to us was, it was like no intellect was working. I'm an intellect guy and I always try to understand, but yesterday I was not able to understand even anything intellectually and try to bring it out and explain or express it. But what I was seeing is everything was going in and establishing inside, and it was like a continuous and a constant initiation was happening to all of us. So this I can say, it is a great blessing for us. And are we chosen for this? We are chosen for this, and we have imbibed this. But again, there some thoughts were happening like, okay, we are getting it, what about others, when they are going to get? Because Swamiji said very clearly, by watching the recording of this process, by watching this video, you cannot learn anything. Nobody even can learn anything by watching the video what happened yesterday. So then what? Who is going to get this and how they're going to get this? But then Swamiji said at one point that in Sadashivoham people are going to experience this. So that is where I think now we have the one big opportunity that for 21 days, even see the 25 points what Swamiji explained yesterday, in that while explaining itself there were many points in each of the sectors. And for that, Swamiji said each one title is a PhD subject. Means now how I can express any of those things. Even we can't even express the titles, even what everyone is trying to explain is Shushupti, Jagrut, and all those things are just some of the words that we have just picked up from there. And today morning we are sitting and trying to dig out and find out what exactly we have got. Few things are only coming up. I think we have to sit the whole day to get something so that we can put question to Swamiji tomorrow so that he can explain to us and to the whole world so that everyone will get benefit out of this one. And he said one is the PhD. Second thing is, he said one very important thing is, if anybody just tries to understand the meaning of God with only those 3 words, G-O-D, generation, operation, and destruction. And if they are not exposed to delusion and liberation, it's a big cheating happening to the people. So, and if they don't get this understanding of the delusion and the liberation, which is the most important thing, even they will get stuck for how many Brahma's life. That's what he was mentioning. Then it's so important now. This huge humanity has to know, learn, and be told, explained, and experience the other two dimensions, that is the delusion and the liberation. And we feel so blessed that we are being the part of the initial initiation of this, which is going to expand, and we are all going to be immersed and imbibed. It's not just for us. Definitely it is not just for us. Swamiji has just begun, and I think from now on it will go on expanding, expanding, expanding. And you know how it started? Just because of, in the Swamiji's word, one stupid guru using some small statement or some explanation about some mysticism has led to such a big revelation, and now it is going viral, and it is going to catch like a huge fire, and it's going to go on. So I think I'll give some chance for some other participants to express some of their feelings. Thank you, Swamiji.
Nityanandam, my name is Jay Krishna. Yesterday, the session was so good. Even when I think about what happened yesterday, there is saliva in my mouth. So it was so sweet still, remembering that. I'll just touch very few things of what Swami told and of what I can tell now. In the 11 dimensions, Swamiji very clearly mentioned, like in the length, breadth, and depth. If Swamiji can just take the depth, you will just see the vision, but if we can go through that, and he can, as you are seeing, if Swamiji can pull the length and breadth, you will not be able to see, but when you come, you will be able to hit that. That mastery is possible only if one is in the space of Sadashiva, like where he has a mastery over length, breadth, depth, time, and space. And also Swamiji told about like the Shivoham process, where it actually happened, the verbalization, which symbolizes the length, and the depth is what Swamiji is giving as an experience. And Nityanandoham, where it is visualization, where it is breadth, and Swamiji giving us depth as the experience to it. And Sadashivoham is going to be in the space of length, breadth, depth, and time and space. So that is much more exciting for all of us. The other one about little bit of physics is how Swamiji very beautifully explained, like the matter coming into space, how it can influence the time. We would have people who would have seen the movie Gravity, like how the influence of matter on time, that in these 11 states was very beautifully also explained. So I'm still having a lot of saliva in me, so I'll enjoy that for now.
Nityanandam, this is Ramanujam. Everyone would have heard about mind-blowing. But yesterday what I was experiencing is brain-blowing, basically. When I was asking Swamiji, Swamiji was explaining, I could able to understand, I could able to visualize so many things, but I suddenly feel that I'm going out of somewhere, living in a Kailash. The exact feeling was Sadashiva is there, revealing the truth, and I am in Kailash, enjoying the whole truth by group of people who are sitting there yesterday. It was, I really don't know what word to put it in for that. And the whole cosmic sutra has been revealed. And when I was asking Swamiji about Brahma Sutra and all the sutras which has been taught before, I never have even thought of that I could understand Brahma Sutra, but the way yesterday the cosmic sutra has been revealed, I literally felt that can easily understand Brahma Sutra just by looking at the cosmology that Swamiji has explained yesterday. And the one big experience is, yesterday, after going to my room, when I was sleeping, whole night it was keep on going in my brain. The digestion was happening, the whole revelations. And today, when I came for yoga in the morning, I never used to do more than 6 rounds of Surya Namaskar. Today, I did 108. When I was doing the sixth round, the whole thing came into me, and I was exactly experiencing, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm something more than this. And the moment I thought of it, I started keep on doing again and again and again and again. When finally it was over, I didn't have any body pain, no pain at all, in a mind level or body level or anything. Then started my other routines, and it was so excellent. It's a direct proof of my listening yesterday. Initially I was thinking, oh, is it logical which is happening in my mind? But today is the real proof for me, for myself, that yes, this has happened. My cognition about myself and everything has expanded. And lots of things I can keep on talking about it. And one thing is, when Swamiji was explaining about the different states, 25 states, and I always used to wonder, when people go to temple and then pray to Devi or pray to any goddess or god, what they feel normally is, suddenly we started to experience some different dimension of us. Suddenly we feel that, oh, I am in here, the different experience happens. And when that was happening, when that was one of the participants was asking actually, then I got a real click. Whenever you go to any big temple or when you pray to any god or any goddesses, and the state in which you are, that's the exact state where the initiation happens. Whenever you get into that kind of experience, that is a state of Turiya. When you are anchored in the Turiya, and then when that experience happens, that is the exact initiation. And whenever we do any meditation or yoga, any other processes that we are doing, we are anchored in the Jagrat state and then experiencing the state of Turiya. That has got a big click in me. There are lots of things, I can keep talking about it again and again, but I'll just pass on right now to someone else who wants to share their experience.
Nityananda. This is Bhakti Rupa. The more the time we spend with Swamiji, the more clear it becomes that I don't know anything about me and life. So, he was explaining about the 25 states of consciousness yesterday. And we exist in all those states. But when we plan for our life, we don't take all those states we exist into consideration and plan with that expanded cognition. Maybe the Jagrat states, the waking state we are in right now, what all the experiences we undergo with that, we plan our life only with this idea. We don't even take consideration of what happens to us in the swapna or the deep sleep. And it is such an ignorance that this life is given to us to reach that Turiyatita state, but we miserably fail because we don't even know the knowledge behind this. So Swamiji yesterday, when he revealed this, just by revealing this whole science of all the states, he is giving a big tatastu for us to experience the Turiyatita stage. So thank you, Swamiji, for revealing this great basic knowledge of life. I really felt I am so happy to be born as a Hindu, because for enlightenment, being a Hindu is a prerequisite, because only with this knowledge, a liberation can happen. A person who doesn't know delusion or liberation, that person can't get liberated. So basically, having this knowledge becomes a prerequisite for liberation. So I was so happy. Wow, I'm a Hindu. I was really proud. Thanks. Also, Swamiji was explaining about the science of materialization. He was having this big paper, and he was having many columns and rows, and how some of us are sleeping, how we went from one box to another box. In the science of materialization, what happens clearly he showed. Like, yeah, object is dismantled in this waking state, the Jagrat state, then it is transported to the Turiya state, and then to some other place in the Jagrat state. When that material travels into Turiya state, because of the intelligence that holds in the Turiya or Turiyatita state, that material get energized, become intelligence, and it has an immense power of healing. That what happens across when Swamiji materializes Vibhuti on all his padakas. When that is applied, it carries a very healing quality. So, very clearly what we consider as mystical, it is the clear science behind it, and Swamiji was casually how he moved across his fingers across the board, that much casually is with the powers. So, there are many things, and one of the main click I got was, why are we choosing to exist in a particular state? That is 28th state. Why I am not even choosing to be in a Turiyatita state? It is, he said that your will chooses which stage you will be in. So then I understood, oh, okay, in this 28th state I have to choose, and I have to choose which state I have to be in. But then the next statement was, when you drop the will, you will reach the Turiyatita state. So it is dropping that will. So it is, the more we sit with Swamiji, the understanding we carry about ourselves and life expands. And I come to know how much this is important for anyone, any human being in this world to know this. This is a basic thing that to be taught in schools. So thank you, Swamiji, for this.
Will arrogance need to be dropped. Will persistence leads you to what you want. When I say will needs to be dropped, I meant will arrogance need to be dropped, not will itself.
Swamiji just gave the deeper understanding. When he said that will need to be dropped, he meant the will arrogance needs to be dropped and the will persistence need to be held on. So that was the will persistence is going to decide on which state we are going to get anchored. Thank you, Swamiji.
Nityanandam. Actually, I'm so excited to share whatever Swamiji shared yesterday, because I felt whatever I've been learning all this time can never be equivalent to whatever Swamiji shared yesterday. It was so powerful, so magical, and there was clicks after clicks. So Swamiji explained that the 11 dimensions. So he explained that the state we are in right now is the dimension where there is depth, breadth, and length. So these are the matter, right? So, and the other dimensions, they are like, for example, the dimensions where the rishis are in, are the dimensions where there are time, space, breadth, and length. They don't have depth. So the length is equivalent to sound, and the breadth is equivalent to vision, visualization. So depth is equivalent to the inner world, my world, and all that. So the rishis, they do not have the depth, right? So that's why they are able to, they were able to receive the Upanishad and write down the Upanishads. So like this, Swamiji was explaining the different dimensions, where there are dimensions where there is only time and space, dimension where there is time, space, and breadth. So this is the space where the ganas are in, for example, and the space where there is time, space, and length, sound, where is the dimension where the Gandharvas are in. So Swamiji said, and also the space where Buddha is the dimension where he is the space where there's only space. So in that dimension, we do have the other components, which is breath, depth, and sound, length, and all that, but they are kind of inactive. So Swamiji said, in Shivoham, he used the dimension which had length and depth, meaning using sound, Swamiji made us experience the depth, made us have the experience. And in Nityanandoham, so Swamiji used the dimension of breath, visualization, where you need to have connection to Swamiji to be able to experience that dimension, the dimension of breath and death. And so Swamiji was then saying that in Sadashivoham, he's going to use all these components, which is breath, depth, length, time, and space. He's going to make us experience all these dimensions in Sadashivoham. And then Swamiji was saying when Arunagiri Yogeshwara taught Swamiji this truth, so he was saying that actually Arunagiri Yogeshwara called all the beings that are responsible for these components. So Swamiji was saying even yesterday when Swamiji was explaining, they were actually present there, because if we're able to grasp whatever was happening, it's not something that, if it's, you catch this on camera and you watch it, you will not be able to understand. They have to be present personally for us to be able to grasp it. So, and after the session, I felt like all the dimensions were just intertwined with each other. I could feel like I was in all the dimensions simultaneously. And then we went to bed maybe at about 1, and then I woke up at 2 a.m. and I felt like I slept forever, and I thought that I missed morning yoga and everything, but it was just like an hour or so. So it was so powerful, like being with Swamiji in his presence constantly can never be equivalent to whatever you'll be learning in the books, in school, compared to what you're learning personally from Swamiji, plus with the experience. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Nityanandam, I just wanted to share everything that you learn in school, that you learn in books, that when someone teaches you, they are teaching you from what they have learned in books, from what they have probably learned in their school. But learning it from Swamiji, we not only get that logical explanation, we get the experiential knowledge, experiencing everything that he taught, all the dimensions. It was like we were there, we were learning it. I asked Swamiji a question about my experience in the last Kumbh Mela, when I had gone to Gatkalika Devi temple, and I had experienced that everything around me was disappearing, but I could only feel Devi's energy, the presence directly blessing me. Swamiji explained how at that moment I was anchored in the Turiya state and my Jagrat state was pulled there, a boon given by Devi directly to me. And I was like, wow, after all of this, I'm still sitting here in Swamiji's presence and learning all of this. It was just unimaginable. Now, Swamiji told me now it is only up to me to evolve to reach the higher states. That experience, just learning that itself was so overwhelming. I felt such gratitude. I was on the verge of tears at the moment. It was just unexplainable. And then so many things, everything that Swamiji has written, the charts he has drawn, by Swamiji, by Sadashiva himself. These are things that are going to be preserved and kept on display for hundreds of years to come. The whole time that board was in my hand, although my hands might have started aching, I didn't want to give that board to anyone else to hold. I was enjoying that space of holding that for that time. And even when it was over, I was thinking, oh, should I leave this board now? It's time for it to be packed up. I just wanted to share this beautiful experience of last night. Thank you.
Nityanandam, one thing which was very close to me, I want to share, and which I learned. Swamiji talked about what state he was in when he met Arunagiri Yogeshwara. So Swamiji was in the state of Turiya. After enlightenment, he had been with Arunagiri Yogeshwara for 9 months. So Arunagiri Yogeshwara was in the state of Turiyatita. So there are a couple of stories he shared. One was where Swamiji was sat with Arunagiri Yogeshwara, and they were playing with the 9 Navagrahas. So they were playing with Navagrahas, and Swamiji was telling how Arunagiri Yogeshwara brought the Navagrahas in front of them. They were like small toys, and each of them sending out rays. So one would send out a golden ray, the other would send out a golden ray, and Swamiji, Arunagiri Yogeshwara taught Swamiji through the 9 Gragas actually sitting in front of them and teaching him on how each one's shades falls on each other. So Swamiji also explained that the Navagragas know that we were toys for him to learn. we were toys for Swamiji to learn. So that one experience was amazing. The another thing that Swamiji shared was how he went through the different states of consciousness just for us. Swamiji is in the state of Turiyatita, and just to teach us all, he has gone through the 25 states so that he can liberate all of us. So he is in the state of Turiyatita, then he is traveled across all the states to learn about all the states, and he is completely anchored in the state of Turiyatita just to teach us, just to liberate us. And Swamiji also said, when he came back into the state of Turiyatita, he could only remember the state of Turiyatita, and every other state was like something he went and he came back. That was one other experience. One other thing was in the 11 dimensions that clicked with me. He talked about the word Muni. The word Muni has come from Mauni, which means without the state of sound. So in this 11 dimensions, he explained how Muni, the word comes from the word Mauni, which means there is no sound in it. Then he went on to explain Gandharva. So what are the dimensions Gandharva use? Then he went on to explain Rishis. What are the different dimensions the Rishis use? And he went to explain Kailasha. What are the dimensions in which Kailasha plays? So one other thing we were talking about, and we got a lot of secrets out of him, was what state Buddha was in. So if you go back to the chart, so we understood Buddha was in the state of Turiyatita and Turiyatita. And he was in a state of Sunya, where he didn't play with Turiyatita, but he was in the state of Turiya. So we got to know that knowledge that Buddha got stuck in that state and he didn't move to the Turiyatita state. Those are the few clicks I remember right now.
Nityanandam, with all the intellectual jargon that probably each one of you is subjected to with our sharings, I would like to talk about that. Swamiji narrated how Arunagiri Yogeshwara sat with him and summoned the Grahas to teach this whole science of cosmology to Swamiji. And very casually and playfully, the Grahas moved around like toys and made the whole experience happen in Swamiji. And when that teaching was going on, Swamiji had this one major understanding that I already know it. It takes an incarnation to know what is being taught and also verbalize it in a way that can become an experience for a common man like us. With listening to the sharing of all the participants, I can tell one thing, that it has caused a lot of confusion in all of our minds. The experience happened to us very casually when Swamiji was talking about it, and he explained why. He said, the Devi Saraswati is playing in my tongue, and all the Devatas and the Devas, or the beings who are directly responsible for this experience, are here at this moment, and that is why you guys are even understanding what I'm telling. We may not be able to verbalize it in a way to cause that kind of an understanding and experience in each one of you, and that experience will be shared during the Sadashivoham process, and that is one major reason why each one of us need to be there, and the only reason why each one of us need to be there. That is about Sadashivoham, and yesterday's my grasping of the whole process, because these are anything that can be conveyed through words is not the truth in its totality. It has to be an experience sharing, that is lighting a lamp with another lamp. And that can be done only by an incarnation. That is one thing. An incarnation needed to teach the science of cosmology is one extreme of yesterday's experience. The other extreme was, very casually, Swamiji even taught us how to draw a straight line without using a scale. How to draw a straight line as long as you want. Just take the weight of your hands and the will and allow the gravity to pull it down. And it was one straight line which I have never seen without a scale can be so straight. So whether it is drawing a straight line or learning the ABCDs of life, you need a master. That was such a beautiful experience. And also, as a doctor, I understood that whenever Swamiji told about the field of psychiatry being a fraud and a bogus, I was still thinking, oh, is it so, that kind of a thing. But then, when he took us through the different states of consciousness so beautifully and so casually, I can vouch for the fact that psychiatrists have no knowledge what they are dealing with. Unfortunately, it is a huge conspiracy against humanity to label and dump people going through the different states of existence at a frequency with which they don't understand and they don't relate it with. And it is again coming up with drugs and drugging people and dumping them. That is all. And the huge compassion with which the whole revelation that was happening was something that each one of us sensed it. Totally, it was in the air. And towards the end of the session, which could never be concluded, even the heavens dropped a few showers, and that was such a huge blessing.
Nityanandam. This is Ramanathananda. What I understand yesterday, when Swami said the God is not Sadashiva. So it's a little difficult to understand, because most of the time we also use Swamiji is God, Sadashiva is God, but how those two things are not same. So basically all the words that we carry, we have the meaning associated with it. So how the Western mysticism defined God, and how the Upanishad and the Agama defines Sadashiva. So when we start understanding how they define, we will be very clearly able to understand the God and Sadashiva are not same, and how the quality and the progress that we can have will be completely different. For them, the God is creation, generation, oppression, and destruction. And how Agama and Upanishad define about the Brahman, Sadashiva, Sthiti, Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirobhava, and Anugraha. So here the 5 states that it define, 5 functions of the Sadashiva that we define, including illusion and liberation. So how this missing two function of Sadashiva, illusion, like once we start understanding, there exists something called the dream and something called the waking state and the Jagrita state. So when we are in the Jagrita state, we realize something called the dream state is existing. Means the something called illusion we start understanding. So based on this, when we start digging the 5 different states, like the Susupti, Swapna, Jagrita, Turiya and Turiyatita, and the crisscrossing of these 5 total 25 states that exist, and the 5 function of Sadashiva, and all this functioning in 11 different dimensions. The different dimensions like the length, breadth, width, time and space, and how they combine and totally make total 11 dimensions. So each 5 function of Sadashiva, 25 states and 11 dimensions are associated with a different quality. And once we know at which state we are and what quality we can even experience. So based on that, what understanding also we got, like once we are not aware even which state and which dimension we are functioning, we won't know even where we have to go also. So what is the role of the religion that Swamiji defined, that wherever we are, from there to taking to the state where we need to go is the religion. So when the Western mysticism defined about the God, including only 3 dimensions, 3 functions of the God, we won't be able to know where we are and where we have to go. And in the same way, when we don't know the different state, different dimension, so the different quality that it can express and we can experience, they won't be aware. So when the Swamiji explained about the different Shakti, the Shakti for them will be only a little evolved form of the technology. But only when we know the different states, we know that something called the third eye not just expresses the power of seeing or communicating with other, even to see the reality where I have to go and where I am. So when I start knowing where I am, the progress starts where I have to go also. So this quality, the Shakti, they miss completely, and they understand that it is like just a tool to use to see something. So it is not just a tool to see something. And also what big thing they miss, only when we define the 3 functions of Sadashiva, missing the 2 dimensions like the illusion and the liberation. When we miss all this, the 25 different states and 11 dimensions, they miss all these things and all the quality and all the state that we are. When they miss all these things, it's not that when they consider God as the 3 functions, they cover the 60% of the God. They actually cover only the 10% of what God means. They are not able to cover most of the, almost 90% they are not able to cover. So how simply defining and how it's making the difference, I started understanding even the Shakti and how even just the Sadashiva and God is completely different thing. So the same way, when we say even Swamiji is God, that is also completely wrong, because Swamiji cannot be God. Swamiji is much more than God. So when we relate with the Swamiji, we need to drop our cognition about the God that we carry. Thank you.
Nityananda. So, the first thing I have to say is that I don't think words can even describe the amount of gratitude that I have for being here, for being able to hear the Hindu cosmology from the one who is the generator, operator, destroyer, the one who puts us in delusion and gives us liberation. Everything from drawing the chart at the beginning, I was thinking Swamiji has already rendered the entire pharmaceutical industry redundant to those of us who understand what he's explaining. Now he's also rendering the ruler industry redundant, because his line was the straightest line on that paper. And the way that he was sitting with us was so casual too, and I think that this is something that when we're in that moment with Swamiji, the way he makes the entanglement happen, the same way he awakens the Shaktis for us to express, just by bringing us into that space where it's like we almost forget the fact that we're sitting at the feet of Sadashiva himself. It feels like we're just enjoying such a sweet, casual moment. He was answering everyone's specific question. People were describing, say, specific dreams that they had had. If we have a lucid dream, which state would that be? And Swamiji immediately explained that what the West understands as a lucid dream is not actually even lucid. He was showing where that's caught and how it can be brought to the next frequency, to the next dimension. And I think even trying to describe what I picked up or what I've learned from all of this would be impossible. It was too much, too overwhelming. This is probably going to be processing for years to come. And as it was already mentioned, literally each statement Swamiji made last night could be one PhD thesis. And the way that he was describing the cosmology, the Navagrahas, it didn't sound like Swamiji was talking about some technical terms. You hear some people describe, even people who have studied Jyotish, they'll describe the different planetary bodies like physical masses somewhere out there. It seemed more like Swamiji was describing playmates from his childhood, the way he described that even now they know that they came down as toys for him. And he was able to even give us something like a visual of what this experience was like. By describing that Arunagiri Yogeshwara would look at one of these Navagrahas, one of these as a small toy, and just to show the way the alignments work, the way the different minglings of energies would work. He would just tell it to move over to another one. It would move over, the way their fields would kind of intertwine. It's just too beautiful to picture. And Swamiji was also describing to us this particular solar system, and also the Milky Way galaxy as a whole, that in the Vedas, when they describe Bhuloka, what's been translated as planet Earth has been completely a mistranslation, because it actually refers to the entire solar system, not only the solar system, but the entire galaxy. So when it says that the Earth is flat, it's not referring to the sphere that we think of as planet Earth, it's referring to that disk, which actually is flat. And Swamiji also explained that Aditya, who we would think of as Surya, just as our sun, is actually the origin of Surya. That when Aditya had the relationship with Prakriti and just wiped the sweat, that sweat became the sun. Just having that visualization also gives a little bit of an idea of the grandness of the cosmos, how far beyond our perception it actually is. That if even the sun that we do Surya Namaskar to every day, that's just the sweat drops from the origin of that sun. And how that's also one expression of Sadashiva. So even hearing about this from this, it's just too much. Thank you, Swamiji.
So as we have heard, this experience was absolutely amazing and phenomenal. Almost, you can say, an initiation itself. Swamiji last night, he said, see, why you feel that, actually you're suddenly alert, you're suddenly like really wanting to understand this knowledge is because he said your kundalini is actually awakening all the way to your brain so that your brain can understand and grasp these concepts, these truths. Just this you can see, just understanding these truths. Our Hinduism, our tradition and our culture has, even in this process, even in just trying to understand cosmology, Hindu cosmology, has made it an initiation, a process where we ourselves can go through that process and even attain that state. This is the power of our culture, of these processes. If anyone out there has said that he's putting it aside as an irrelevant thing, it is actually a crime against us, an abuse against Hinduism. That we have to make sure that this survives through time immemorial. We have to make sure that this is what we give to the world. With that sentiment, we have to see and give the perspective on actually what yesterday said, what Swamiji had said, and what anti-Hindu forces are saying against Hinduism, where they're saying this kind of thing is becoming irrelevant. How can they say when this kind of thing is actually running the cosmos?
So actually, the reason today I did not wanted to speak anything in satsang is still I am in that same mood. If I open my mouth, whatever I share, you guys will not be able to grasp because it is mid of the whole flow. Because I'm going to now go back and continue the question and answer session with them. States of consciousness, dimensions of the universe, operations of the Sadashiva. Means understanding God, understanding universe, understanding self. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Understand? The 25 consciousness is Jiva, 11 dimension is Jagat, the 5 action is Ishvara. These 3 connecting and realizing these 3 is what is Shuddhadvaitam. Understanding experientially these 3 is Sadashivoham. "25 states of consciousness, Jiva, 11 dimension of the universe, Jagat, 5 operations of the Sadashiva, Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara." Understanding of all these 3 and how they meet, how they connect, who means what to whom, what means what to whom, who connects with what in what way. This whole matrix is Maya. Realization of this whole matrix is Sadashivoham. So I'm actually going to go back and sit with them and answer the questions. Maybe next 2-3 days I'll take for making everyone to understand this matrix. Yesterday I was only introducing all these 3 independently. Today only now only I have even made them understand it is Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. And now when they understand the matrix between these 3, the experience of Sadashivoham starts as a everyday happening. Please understand, happening means how the 9 body fluids are happening as long as you are alive in this body. Like this Sadashivoham will be one more oozing happening of as long as everything exists. The happening word, that is exactly the description of the word happening in Sanskrit. How the 9 body fluids go on happening as long as you are alive in this body. Anything which becomes that kind of happening in you only is Anubhuti. So this matrix of Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, realization and mastery over this matrix happening in you is Sadashivoham. Not that when you have an incompletion you will find completion, you will find solution. No, that is not called happening. That is taking medicine and healing. For example, you have a, what do you call that? Low hemoglobin. you take medicine, and then hemoglobin, you become iron lady, and then hemoglobin becomes all right. That is medicine. That is not happening. Understand? So when you find incompletion and you go for completion, it becomes all right. That is not happening. The moment hemoglobin starts coming down, automatically body secretes whatever is needed and it becomes all right, is only happening. So now this matrix and mastery over this matrix will become happening in you guys. That is Sadashivogam. When I am introducing, it is only a medicine. Wherever you have a problem, take this and heal, work, breakthrough. It's a medicine. But when this matrix is mastered, it becomes happening. So maybe it will take 2-3 more days for me to make this matrix as a happening for them. I'll make it happen and bring them and present it to you guys again. So, of course, they are not my guinea pigs. They are my they are my first batch of genius pigs. Not guinea pigs, first batch of genius. So, I know for sure now whatever I spoke, most of you cannot understand. That is why I did not want to speak. But anyhow, I have just uttered few words which you can grasp. After 3-4 days, when they come and share, then you will understand what I am doing here, what is going on. So, get ready to enjoy all this in Sadashivoham. That's all. I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhadvaita Saivam, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Thank you.